Hello, dear students of class 12. Welcome to S.U.M.I Heroes Network, which is the official channel of our school, and that is S.U.M Institution. My name is Alok Muktan. Today I'll be taking your English Burnaby class, and I'll be starting the first chapter from the prose section, and that is The Eyes Have It, written by Ruskin Bond. So, the title here, The Eyes Have It, also known as The Eyes Are Not There or The Girl on the Train, so is an interesting short story where a young man and a girl accidentally meet in a train compartment. Now, both the young man and the girl are unaware of their individual blindness, and they converse with each other from the conviction that both of them can see. But in reality, what happens is, both of them are blind. So before I move on with our today's story, let me give you a brief introduction about the writer Ruskin Bond. So Ruskin Bond, born in 1934 at Kasauli in Himachal Pradesh, is a widely read writer of Indian origin who writes in English and is still active. So Bond is one of the really prolific and a powerful writer. He has written many short stories, essays, children's stories, and novels too. The setting for most of his stories are the hills of the Himalayas. Among his most notable works are, as you can see on the board, The Room on the Roof, The Angry River, and Rain in the Mountains. Bond is one of the simplest of writers who can touch you in a very elegant way. And so does this short story, The Eyes Have It. So let us start our today's lesson, The Eyes Have It. So I had the train compartment to myself up to Rohana. Then a girl got in. The couple who saw her off were probably her parents. They seemed very anxious about her comfort, and the woman gave the girl detailed instructions as to where to keep her things, when not to lean out of the window, and how to avoid speaking to strangers. So, the setting of this story is in a train compartment where the narrator, who is blind, is the sole occupant of the compartment up to Rohana. Then, at Rohana station, a girl enters in. So, just for your general knowledge, Rohana is a small city in Uttar Pradesh. So, along with the girl, there is a couple who has come to see her off, right? And then the couple who came to see her off were probably her parents. Though the narrator is blind, but he could hear from the conversation, we could make out from the conversation that those two couples must probably be her parents, because the couple were anxious, so they were worried about the girl's well-being, worried about the girl's comfort. And the woman, who was probably the girl's mother, she was giving the girl detailed instructions, so an elaborate instruction as to where to keep her belongings, where to keep her luggage, and when not to lean out of the window, so when not to peep out of the window while the train is in motion, and how to avoid talking to strangers, so how to keep away from strangers. So let's move on. They called their goodbyes, and the train pulled out of the station. So as I was totally blind at that time, my eyes only sensitive to light and darkness. So the couple and the girl, they bid their farewell goodbyes, and now the train started to move out of the station. And now, so narrator actually is almost going blind, but not yet totally blind, which is why his eyes are sensitive to light and darkness. So he can differentiate between light and darkness. I was unable to tell what the girl looked like, but I knew she wore slippers from the way they slapped against her heels. So now the narrator was unable to make out about the girl's appearance, right? So, but he knew that she was wearing slippers from the sound that slapped against her heels. So it would take me some time to discover something about her looks, and perhaps I never would. So now the narrator is thinking in his mind that it would take him some time to discover about the girl's appearance, or maybe he never will. So, but I like the sound of her voice and even the sound of her slippers. So now the narrator doesn't know the girl's appearance, so he doesn't know how the girl looks like, But he loved the voice of the girl. So he liked the girl's voice, and at the same time he liked the sound of her slippers too. So, are you going all the way to Dera? I asked. I must have been sitting in a dark corner because my voice startled her. So she gave a little explanation and said, I didn't know anyone else was here. So the narrator, out here. So now the narrator tries to make a conversation with the girl by asking, so are you with going all the way to Dera? So Dera out here is Dehradun. So it is a it is a hill station in Uttarakhand. And now, hearing the sound of the narrator, the girl gets startled, So she gets frightened. So you can see on the board. So she gets shocked or frightened. She gets a little bit frightened, hearing the narrator's voice, because the girl thought that she was all alone by herself in that compartment. So the compartment was totally empty, So there was no other co-passengers along with her. And the narrator thinks that he must have been sitting in a dark corner. That is why the girl got startled by his voice. Well, it often happens that people with good eyesight fail to see what is right in front of them. So they have too much to take in, I suppose. Whereas people who cannot see have to take in only the essentials, whatever registers most tellingly on the remaining senses. So out there what the narrator is trying to say is that people who can see, so people who can see has to observe more than what their eyes can take in. So mostly they often fail to observe what is right in front of them. So whereas people who are blind or can even see a little, so have to take only those things, so which are necessary for them, so which gets recorded by the other senses that are still awake. So they are able to observe things more in details, I didn't see you either, I said, but I heard you come in. Now the narrator says that he didn't see her either, so he could hear her coming in. So I wondered if I would be able to prevent her from discovering that I was blind, provided I keep to my seat. I thought it shouldn't be too difficult. So now, at this point of time, so the narrator is trying to play a game with the girl. So the narrator is trying to play a game with her co-passenger, and what was that game was not letting the narrator's his co-passenger know that. So what that game was, not letting his co-passenger, the girl, know that he is blind. So now he's trying to play a game, and he wonders, he thinks that only if he keeps that secret to himself, it wouldn't be that much difficult. So it would be easy if he will keep that secret with himself, So the girl said, I'm getting off at Saharanpur. My aunt is meeting me there. So now the girl strikes a conversation with the narrator, and she says that she was getting off at Saharanpur station, the next station, and her aunt will be coming to pick her up. So aunt will come to get her. So then I had better not get too familiar, I said. Aunts are usually formidable creatures. Now the narrator starts flirting with the girl by saying sweetly, then I would not get too much close to you or too much well known, too much familiar with you, because ants are really a formidable creature. So as you can see the meaning of formidable creatures, so it's fearful or dreadful human beings. So ants are really fearful or dreadful human beings. So I would better stay away from you. So I would better back off, getting too much close to you. What are you? Where are you? I'm sorry. Where are you going? She asked. To Dera and then to Masuri. Now the girl asks the man that where he was headed towards, and the narrator replies that he will be going to Dehradun, then after that he will be going to Masuri. Oh, how lucky you are. I wish I were going to Masuri. I love the hills, especially in October. So the girl says that, oh, how fortunate you are, like that you are going to Masuri. So she also wished that she were going to Masuri too. So she loved the hills, especially in October time. So especially in the month of October. So yes, this is the best time, I say, calling on our memories. Now, the narrator, recalling back on his memories, says that, yes, October is the best time to visit Masuri. So now, the hills are covered with wild dahlias, the sun is delicious, and at night, you can sit in front of a log fire and drink a little brandy. So now, during the time of October, the hills are fully covered with wild dahlias. So wild dahlias here, it means it's a Mexican plant of a daisy family, right? So which is bright in color. So the hills are totally totally covered with bright flowers, bright white wild plants. And the scenery is so mesmerizing, the scenery is so spellbinding, it's so beautiful. And the sun is pleasant too. The sun is not that scorching hot. And at night time, you can sit in front of a log fire and drink a little brandy. So during the night time, when night falls, so you can sit in front of a log fire. So again, log fire, here it means fire made with the help of logs of wood. So you can sit in front of a log fire, warming yourself up and sipping a little brandy and enjoying the nature. Most of the tourists have gone and the roads are quiet and almost deserted. Yes, October is the best time. Now the narrator says that most of the tourists have gone back to the places, they have returned back to the places and the roads are quiet and deserted. Deserted out here, it means abandoned or empty of people. So the roads are empty of people, and tourists who have come to visit Masuri have already returned back to their places. So the narrator says that, yes, October is the best time to visit Masuri. So this is it for today, and we'll be continuing the story in the next class. Thank you.